Welcome to the Highlights from Ukraine podcast, your daily audio summary of the latest news reported in the Ukrainian media. We would really appreciate if you could recommend us to your friends and family as well as share information on social media. This way more people would learn about the podcast and truths about Russia's invasion of Ukraine. My name is Artem, and here is the news. 370 days less the Russian invasion of Ukraine. In his evening video address, President of Ukraine Volodymyr Zelensky informed that he met prosecutor of the International Criminal Court Karim Khan, who is on a visit to Ukraine. Zelensky said that we are approaching the opening of the Ukrainian office of the International Criminal Court. There is already effective cooperation with Ukraine between the International Criminal Court and the Office of the Prosecutor General. According to him, special attention is paid to such Russian crimes as the deportation of Ukrainians, including children. Earlier, Prosecutor General Andriy Kostin said that only 307 children out of more than 16,000 were returned from the deportation to Russia, reports Interfax Ukraine. He stressed that to do more help from the international community is needed. The President of Ukraine also met with the Secretary General of the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, Matyas Korman. According to Volodymyr Zelensky, Ukraine's goal is to fully join the organization and to use the OSCE experience to modernize the country. He announced that on March 1st, an OSCE office will be opened in Kyiv. The sides discussed a fair tax system for Ukrainians, transparent, simple, and one that will strike a balance between stimulating business and economic growth and ensuring social justice. Zelensky offered the organization to join the work on directing Russia's assets to compensate for the damage caused by Russian aggression. Matyas Korman also met Prime Minister of Ukraine Denis Shmyhal, reports Ukrinform. The Prime Minister said that the OSCE program for Ukraine may be signed in June 2023 and its implementation will allow the country to move to the roadmap for obtaining membership in the organization. Shmyhal stressed that cooperation with the OSCE will be an important signal for investors and will also contribute to the successful development of Ukraine and its European integration. The President held a meeting of the staff to discuss the situation on each of the frontline directions. The most difficult situation is still near Bakhmut. Volodymyr Zelensky informed that Ukraine is preparing for the return of its warriors to actions for the liberation of its land. He added that Russia continues shelling Ukrainian cities. For example, yesterday there were more than 30 Russian shellings in the Kherson region. At least 4 people were killed. The Highlights from Ukraine podcast is an uncommercial initiative of just 2 people, and we need your help to grow. Share information about the podcast, rate us in the app, subscribe to our Patreon. With your support, we are getting better. An unknown drone crashed not far from a Gazprom-owned facility in Kolomna district, Moscow Oblast, Russia, reports Ukrainska Pravda. Andrei Vorobyov, governor of Moscow Oblast, said that the target was probably an infrastructure object which was not damaged. Russian Telegram channels report that the drone was found a few meters away from the territory of a gas compressor station, an object belonging to the Russian state company Gazprom. Later this was confirmed by the official emergency services of Russia. On Tuesday, an unknown aircraft crashed in Adygea in the southern federal district of Russia, the head of the region said. In addition, explosions were heard overnight in the Russian city of Tuapse in the Krasnodar region, South Russia. The explosions were followed by a fire at an oil refinery. Telegram channels suggested that it was a drone attack. U.S. Undersecretary of Defense for Political Affairs Colin Kahl does not rule out that the war in Ukraine may last another 2 or 3 years, reports European Pravda. He said that it is hard to predict the exact trajectory of the development of the war. It may end in 6 months or maybe in 2 or 3 years. Kahl admitted that Ukraine depends on the help of the U.S. and its partners. The United States does not expect Russia to make significant territorial gains in Ukraine in the near future. According to him, small portions of territory may change hands in the coming weeks and months, but no significant territorial gains can be made any time in the next year or so. The Wall Street Journal informs that the German government plans to transfer 2 Skynex short-range air defense systems to Ukraine, reports Interfax Ukraine. According to Artem&Marharyta, CEO of the German defense concern Rheinmetall, the cost of the Skynex systems ordered by the government from company is 200 million euros. According to the developers, the Skynex system fires 35mm ammunition and is designed to combat cruise missiles and drones. Also, the company has already started deliveries to Ukraine of automatic reconnaissance systems that use unmanned aerial vehicles. Surveil Spire systems consist of mobile observation posts equipped with cameras for day and night viewing, mini drones that can be used for patrols and other missions, and their control complex. According to the company, Surveil Spire can be easily transported on a trailer to the desired location, and 3 people are required to assemble the observation point. 4G and Starlink networks are used to transmit images in order to increase the autonomy of Surveil Spire. Its mechanisms are powered by solar panel. NBC News published a video by reporter Keir Simmons about Crimea, reports Radio Liberty. The report states that the journalist arrived in Crimea by train from Moscow via the Kerch Bridge, which was blown up last fall. Spokesperson of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Ukraine, Oleg Nikolenko, reminded that visiting the temporarily occupied Crimea from the territory of Russia is a violation of the legislation of Ukraine. Legal liability is provided for violators. In particular, foreigners are also banned from entering Ukraine for such actions. He noted that the Ukrainian authorities are establishing the circumstances of a visit, and after verification, a decision will be made on further steps. If you like what we do and would like to tip us, you can now do so directly to our PayPal. Check out the link in the description to this episode for more details. And as usual, you can subscribe to our Patreon. We call on you to demand from governments of your countries to impose the toughest sanctions possible on Russia and its citizens to stop their invasion of Ukraine.